Hey, welcome back. Today's topic is personal, maybe even uncomfortable, but it's something we all face.
Yeah, we're talking about being yourself in a world that constantly tells you who you should be.
It's hard. There's pressure from social media, from school, from family, from society in general to act a certain way, dress a certain way, even think a certain way.
But what happens when you stop pretending? What changes when you finally allow yourself to just be who you are?
So let's start from the beginning. People say just be yourself all the time, but what does that actually mean?
Good question. I think being yourself means acting in a way that's true to your values, personality, and feelings, even when it's not the easiest thing to do.
Exactly. It's not about being selfish or doing whatever you feel like. It's about being honest with yourself. Like knowing what makes you happy, what makes you uncomfortable, and what you truly believe, without pretending to be someone else just to fit in.
For example, let's say you're naturally quiet, but everyone around you is super loud and outgoing. Being yourself doesn't mean forcing yourself to be the life of the party. It means accepting your quiet nature and not feeling bad about it.
Or maybe you love reading and staying home on the weekend while your friends love going out. Being yourself means not hiding that part of you just because you're afraid they'll think you're boring.
That's such a good point. We're all different, and that's a good thing. But too often, we feel like we need to change to be accepted.
Right. And especially when you're learning a new language like English, it can be tempting to copy other people. You want to sound like them, speak like them, but you end up losing your natural voice in the process.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Being yourself also means owning where you are. If your English isn't perfect, it's okay. Be real about it. People connect more with your authenticity than with your accent or grammar.
I love that. Being yourself means not trying to be perfect. It means being real, honest, and consistent. It's when the person you are inside matches the way you act on the outside.
And that's when you start to feel more peace, because you're not pretending. You're not performing. You're just you. Let's be honest. It's not easy to be yourself, especially in a world that rewards people for fitting in. You scroll through social media and see thousands of people doing the same dance, wearing the same clothes, using the same captions.
We're constantly comparing ourselves. And deep down, we all want to be accepted. We want approval. But sometimes in chasing that approval, we lose who we are.
Exactly. We pretend. We change. And after a while, we don't even recognize ourselves.
And the sad part is, the more we hide, the more disconnected we feel. From others, but also from ourselves.
Let's be honest. Pretending to be someone you're not can feel easier in the short term. You avoid conflict, you feel accepted, and everything seems fine. But the truth is, it's exhausting.
So true. Pretending is like carrying a mask every day. You smile when you're not happy. You agree when you don't mean it. And after a while, you don't even know who you are anymore.
Exactly. But when you stop pretending, when you finally say, "This is me," things start to shift. At first, it can be uncomfortable. People might not understand. You might even lose some friends.
Yes, that's the hard part. Being your true self can feel lonely at first. But it's also the start of something real. You begin to attract people who connect with the real you, not the version you created to please others.
And you gain energy, because pretending takes so much mental effort. When you stop acting, you feel lighter, freer, more at peace.
You also become more confident. Not because you're perfect, but because you're not afraid to be imperfect. You stop apologizing for your quirks, your emotions, your dreams.
There's this quiet kind of strength that comes with authenticity. Like, I may not be for everyone, and that's okay.
You stop needing approval all the time. You learn to validate yourself. That doesn't mean you never care what people think, but their opinions don't control you anymore.
And here's the surprising part. When you stop trying to impress people, that's when you become the most impressive. Because you're real, you're consistent, you're honest.
I remember when I stopped hiding the fact that I struggle with anxiety. I used to pretend I was always fine. But once I opened up, I felt so much relief. And people actually respected me more for being open.
I love that. Vulnerability makes us human. And when we show who we truly are, we give others permission to do the same.
It's not easy, but it's worth it. When you stop pretending, you stop fighting yourself, and you finally start living as you.
So how do we stay true to ourselves when everything around us pushes us to conform?
Start by asking simple questions. What do I want? What do I believe? What feels right to me?
And it's okay if your answers are different from other people's. That's the point.
You can also set small boundaries. Say no when you need to. Limit time on social media. Journal your thoughts.
And remember, it's not a destination. It's a practice. You won't always get it right. But the more you practice being yourself, the stronger that inner voice becomes.
Being yourself today is an act of courage. But it's also the beginning of real connection with others and with yourself. Before we end today's episode, let's take a few minutes to look at some important words we used. These words are powerful, not just in English, but in life. Let's start with vulnerability. This means being open about your emotions, even if it feels risky. Example: talking about my fears made me feel vulnerable, but it also made me feel human.
Authenticity is when you're being real and true to who you are without pretending. Example: people can feel your authenticity. It's when you stop trying to be someone else and just speak from the heart.
To pretend means to act like someone you're not, usually to fit in or impress others. Example: I used to pretend I liked the same things as my friends, but deep down I didn't enjoy any of it.
Approval is when other people accept or like what you do. And honestly, we all want it sometimes. Example: I changed my style just to get my parents' approval, but it didn't feel like me.
Fit in. To fit in means to blend into a group, to be like everyone else so you don't stand out. Example: in high school, I tried to fit in by copying how others talked, but I lost my own voice.
Validation. Validation is a feeling of being seen, heard, and accepted for who you really are. Example: I didn't need a compliment. I just wanted someone to say, I get you. That's validation.